Republican strategist John Jordan joins us from California to comment on the report you just heard there. I know you're a Republican, but tell us, I mean, as objectively as possible, how you think Trump's handling of the pandemic has really influenced Republican voters going into this election.
Well, there's a great divide in American politics. Republicans and conservative-leaning independents see President Trump's handling of the coronavirus and the coronavirus writ large very differently. They see it as something that came from overseas. It's killed hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people all over the world. It's not his fault. It's not something he engineered or concocted. Moreover, President Trump is responsible for managing the economy and managing American society. And if you look at what's going on in Europe right now, nobody's doing a great job. This isn't a good story for anybody. This is nobody's shining hour. The Democrats, for their part, are trying to isolate President Trump on this issue and force President Trump to only fight the campaign on this issue because it's by definition a loser. This is no president can win, in these types of circumstances. They don't want to talk about Hunter Biden's corruption. They don't want to talk about the rebounding American economy. They don't want to talk about the coming vaccine. They just want to attack President Trump on what they see as bad handling. But when you look around the world, maybe that isn't quite so accurate.
Okay, so I mean, you think the Democrats are going to go at this now as kind of a single issue campaign. I mean, it's obviously going to feature prominently in the debate tonight. As a strategist, I mean, how do you think he should actually just manage the topic in tonight's forum?
Well, you talk about this. Well, first of all, the first debate talked about this issue too. The final debate is not even touching foreign policy or a bunch of other issues. That tells you a lot about the political orientation of a lot of the people running these debates because they only want to talk about coronavirus and not the myriad other issues. This will be the first presidential election in American history where there's a televised debate and foreign policy was not one of the issues discussed. Nonetheless, if I were President Trump, I would talk about what we've done with Operation Warp Speed to bring a vaccine to market, that America has suffered less economically than any other countries, and that as president, he's responsible for balancing all of the human costs of the virus, including, all the people that aren't getting cancer treatment, that aren't getting other hospital care that they need because of this. The economic damage and drug use and alcoholism as a result of all the shutdowns, lives destroyed in other ways. And he's tried to mitigate that. He tried to force the Democrats to pass a $500 billion relief package, but the Democrats held that up in Congress just because they wanted to play politics in an election year. So those are the things I would hit on if I were President Trump: the Democrat obstructionism with relief.
Very quickly, John, though, we've only got 30 seconds left. What about the Supreme Court issue?
Supreme Court issue actually is a real winner for President Trump. Independent polling shows that a majority of the American public thinks that Amy Coney Barrett should be confirmed. And if the Democrats boycott the committee vote, that's going to be a bad look for them. But it would seem that President Trump's recent rebound in the polls is in part contributed by the fact that Americans saw Amy Coney Barrett. They liked what they saw, and they didn't like the Democrats' ugly threats of court packing and changing the court after 150 years.
John Jordan, thanks so much for being with us on the NewsHour. We appreciate it.